And welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to AM News on Global Television. Coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja, I am Jumai Manson. A quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV channels 365 and Star Times channel 276. Now the news in full. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu will visit Ijebu in Ogun State to personally attend the 8-day Fidal prayers in honor of the late Oba Sikiru Kayode Adetuna, the Awujale of Ijebu land, who passed away after more than 6 decades on the throne. The reverse monarch, widely celebrated by his wisdom, unwavering courage, and contributions to Nigeria's traditional and political landscape, was mourned by top dignitaries, including royal fathers, governors, and national leaders who gathered to pay their final respect. The solemn event not only marked the end of an era for Ijebu land, but also served as a reflection on the monarch's enduring legacy of integrity, candor, and fearless leadership. We'll keep you abreast of the development. Let's go on a very quick break now. The AM News continues shortly. Stay tuned. You're welcome back now to the AM News. A group of retired police officers have taken to the streets of Abuja in a peaceful protest to draw attention to the poor welfare conditions of serving and retired members of the Nigerian police force. The protest was led by the convener of the Revolution Now movement, Omoyele Sowore, who joined the retirees to demand urgent intervention from the federal government. Over now to Topsy Gimba. He was there for Global TV News.
The group of retired police officers expressed displeasure over what they described as years of neglect, non-payment of pensions, and poor treatment of officers who had served the nation diligently. Sowore, speaking during the protest, called on the government to recognize the sacrifices made by police officers and ensure that their welfare were prioritized.
We are saying enough is enough. It's as simple as that. We are not here to talk to their statement. We are here to talk about the well-being of these police officers, both serving, retired, dead, and their family members who deserve a better condition of service or after service. How could somebody serve this country for 35 years, 35 solid years, and they go home with 2 million naira? Some of them went home with 900,000 naira. Are you going to buy the recharge card with 900,000 naira after 35 years? So even if we don't fight for them, it will be unconscionable on our part to ignore them.
The protesters also warned that if the government failed to respond promptly, they would sustain their action until their demands were met.
I was only given paid from 2004 to 2017, and I was given 2 million naira. I become a nuisance to my family. I
cannot give you the interest. Who is deceiving you in this country? Why do the IG and co exempt themselves from the PENCO? Why? Because they know it's a bad thing. Why do they want to instigate police to become corrupt? Now it is very clear that the serving police officers now must have to be corrupt
I need my benefit, my remaining benefit with PENCOM. Let them pay me my benefit. My remaining money, let them pay me so that I will continue training my children. I'm a widow. Even my daughter, my last daughter, she's at State University. Yesterday I branched to see her. She was crying for her rent, 250,000 I'm paying. So this 2,000, how we start?
Security personnel were on site overseeing the protests to prevent any disruption of public order. Places beef up with armed policemen also included the National Assembly entrance to avoid breakdown of law and order. Topsy Gimba reporting for Global Television News.
The House of Representatives has described the ongoing constitutional amendment process as a vital step towards promoting national unity and addressing decades of marginalization, particularly among Nigerians' diverse ethnic nationalities. Over now to Annette Patrick's report.
The Southeast Zonal Public Hearing on the review of Nigerians' 1999 Constitution Zone A, held in Enugu, brought together key stakeholders from Enugu, Ebonyi, and Anambra states. Chairing the session, Deputy Minority Whip of the House of Representatives, Honorable George Azudinobi, described the process as a historic opportunity to rebuild trust and foster national cohesion through inclusive constitutional reforms.
Suggestions as to how our institutions are strengthened, that no one individual or group becomes stronger than our institution. The emphasis must be made here that the foundation for the unity of this great nation lies on how seriously we handle this national assignment.
In his contribution, Speaker of the Ebonyi State House of Assembly, Honorable Moses Odunwa, emphasized the need to create an additional state in the southeast to correct what he called the imbalance in state distribution across the geopolitical zones.
Let us be given one additional state. If we are given one additional state, then if other states are being added to the geopolitical zones, then we will still be demanding for more of our own.
The Constitution Review Committee disclosed that it has so far received 46 requests for state creation and 117 for new local government areas nationwide. The public hearing also recorded strong support for the proposed bill on special legislative seats aimed at improving representation for women and marginalized groups.
When you look at the constitution and the countries across Africa, you will discover that Nigeria is at the last ladder of female political representation in the parliament.
That there is a sinister plan to remove minimum wage from the exclusive list to concurrent list. We see it as an affront on Nigerian workers.
As constitutional hearings continue across other zones, Nigerians are being urged to stay engaged in shaping a more just and inclusive nation. Annette Patrick, Global Television News.
Senate has warned the suspended lawmaker representing Kogi Central, Senatorial District, Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan, to desist from forcefully resuming her legislative duties today, Tuesday. The chairman of the Senate Committee on Media and Public Affairs, Yemi Aderamodu, gave the warning in a statement issued while insisting that no valid court order mandated her immediate recall and that the Senate remained committed to due process and the rule of law. Now, in the related development, stakeholders in the Southwest have renewed calls for constitutional reforms, advocating true federalism, state policing, and devaluation of power. These demands were made during the Southwest Zonal public hearing on the review of Nigeria's 1999 Constitution held in Lagos. Annette Patrick tells us more.
Calls for a more equitable and secure Nigeria echoed across the Southwest as stakeholders from Lagos, Ogun, and Oyo states gathered in Lagos for the Constitution Review public hearing. Organized by the House of Representatives Committee on Constitution Review, the session focused on pressing regional concerns, including the need to entrench true federalism and devolve more powers to the states. representing Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu, Deputy Governor Obafemi Hamzat, stressed the urgent need for state police to tackle rising insecurity at the grassroots.
So as we embark on this very critical process of reviewing the Constitution, we must know that it will not be an easy task. And it shouldn't be, because we are all different, from southwest to northeast, so we have different realities. But we must be guided by the principle of inclusiveness, equity, and justice. It is crucial that we listen to everyone, men, women, young, and old.
Also lending his voice, Speaker of the Ogun State House of Assembly, Honorable Oludaisi Olusegun Elemide, called for constitutional recognition of traditional rulers for their role in local governance and conflict resolution.
We stand by giving our traditional rulers roles in governance. We stand by that.
Civil society groups and public figures, including veteran actress Joke Silva, advocated increased women's representation in politics and leadership positions.
Beyond due respect is when we have the other 50% of the nation in decision-making positions.
Chairman of the Constitution Review Committee for the Southwest Zonal Center A, Honorable Ibrahim Isiaka, assured participants of the committee's commitment to fairness, inclusiveness, and transparency throughout the review process.
We are dedicated to ensuring that this process is transparent and that all stakeholders remain informed and engaged every step of the way.
Despite the complexities of constitutional amendments, participants say now is the time to prioritize justice and restructure the system to reflect Nigerians' current realities. Aniette Patrick, Global Television News.
As the 21-day ultimatum issued to the federal government draws to a close on July 23rd, the Nigerian Medical Association has warned it will ground medical services nationwide if the government fails to meet its demand. The president of the association, Professor Bala Audu, who confirmed this in an exclusive interview, noted the association was prepared to take decisive action should the government fail to respond adequately to its demand. Now, Audu noted that the association's demands were critical to survival of Nigeria's healthcare system and the welfare of medical professionals across the country. Zamfara State Governor Dauda Lawal has reaffirmed his administration's commitment to revitalizing the healthcare sector with the commissioning of a newly renovated nursing complex of the State College of Nursing Science in Gusau. The project, completed under Dauda's Care 2025 initiative, is aimed at strengthening health education and building a resilient health system in the state. The embattled national chairman of the Labour Party, Barrister Julius Abure, has stated that the party will not be part of any coalition. He made this known at the end of the National Executive Council NEC meeting held at the Labour Party's headquarters in Abuja. Our correspondent, Ubong Usoro, reports.
The embattled chairman of the Labour Party, Barrister Julius Abure, has reaffirmed that the Labour Party will not be part of the recent coalition. According to him, the ideologies, manifestos and programs of the Labour Party differ significantly from other political parties, and therefore they cannot afford to join just any coalition.
The Labour Party is the only party that is different from all others, and we have continued to show that very, very clearly. And I want to assure you that we'll continue to drive that process. Labour Party will still be different, and we are capable of using this platform to lead Nigeria to El Dorado in the very near future.
Abure also called on factional members of the party to shed their swords and return, stating that the party is ready to receive all aggrieved members. He emphasized that its leadership remains the only recognized leadership of the party. Senator Dati Baba Ahmed, the 2023 vice presidential candidate of the Labour Party, who was also present at the meeting, stated that his principal, Peter Obi, is a committed member of the Labour Party. He added that he is currently leading a mediation effort to unite all members of the party.
I have attended and I have listened to the coalition attempts, yet I still remain in Labour Party. I am glad also to note that from the comments of my boss, His Excellency Governor Peter Obi, he still remains in the Labour Party.
The Labour Party appears focused on internal reconciliation as it distances itself from external coalitions, signaling a resolve to consolidate its structure ahead of future political contest. Ubong Usoro for Global Television.
A 5-man disciplinary committee constituted by the Social Democratic Party National Working Committee to investigate the suspended chairman of the party, Shehu Musa Gaban, on an alleged misappropriation of the party's funds has submitted its report. The committee is headed by retired Vice Marshal Sadiq Abubakar Liman. Now over to Topsy Gimba for more details.
The chairman of the committee, Air Vice Marshal Sadiq Abubakar Liman, retired, said in line with the tax and terms of reference, the committee commenced sitting immediately to meet up with the 14 days deadline. The retired Air Vice Marshal officer told the members of the National Working Committee of the party that external auditors were also invited in the interest of natural justice and fair hearing. He revealed that only suspended national auditor honored the invitation amongst the 3 allegedly accused persons.
It is noteworthy that it is the only suspended national auditor that honored the invitation amongst the 3 allegedly accused persons. While among the National Audit Committee members, only the National Organizing Secretary vehemently refused to honor the committee's invitation.
The chairman says, in spite of some of them refusing to honor the committee's invitation, he went ahead to suggest far-reaching decisions to reposition the party.
It is safe to state that the committee obtained sufficient evidence from the statements of all those that appeared before it.
With the report of the investigation now submitted, party supporters are anxious waiting to see the next action to be taken against the embattled chairman Shehu Musa Gaban and the 2 others. Topsy Gimba reporting for Global Television News.
The Nigerian Meteorological Agency, NIMET, has alerted Nigerians to expect widespread thunderstorms and rainfall across the country between Monday, July 21st and Wednesday, July 23rd, 2025. The weather outlook released in Abuja's projects a mix of cloudy skies, thunderstorms, and moderate to heavy rainfall throughout the forecast period. The 3-day forecast covers weather conditions expected across northern, central, and southern regions with varying intensities of rain and thunderstorms. You are watching the live broadcast of AM News. When AM News returns, ceasefire agreement between Kinshasa and M23 revives hope for lasting peace in Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo. Details coming shortly, plus business and foreign stories on the other side of this break. Please stay with us. You're welcome back, and if you're just tuning in, this is AM News on Global Television. Thank you for staying with us. In business stories now, one of the challenges common to micro, small, and medium businesses in access to capital. Both startups and existing businesses have first-hand experience on how funding or lack of it determines the direction and lifespan of the business. In this special report, Uyi Agbomofuigwe takes a look at what cooperatives are, how they continue to shape micro-small economic patterns, impact households, and the road ahead. The report.
The Brussels-based International Cooperative Alliance, the apex body representing cooperatives, which are estimated to be around 3 million worldwide, defines a cooperative as an autonomous association of persons united voluntarily to meet their common economic, social, and cultural needs and aspirations through a jointly owned and democratically controlled enterprise. Cooperatives are generally categorized on the basis of their objectives and the clusters they are set up to serve. In Nigeria, for example,
efforts
towards mainstreaming the informal sector onto the benefits that exist within the formal sector. And we have conceived the idea of setting up such a cooperative because of the ignorance and the lack of motivation within the informal sector.
This vendor at a market in Abuja has her story to tell with a piece of advice for prospective beneficiaries of cooperatives.
Before now, I never had a lot of goods in my shop. My shop was very scanty with the goods in it. But when the cooperative came in, with the sum they gave to me, I was able to buy more goods to put in my shop. As you can see, my shop is blooming and is shining. And then I have more customers. My sales has gone up since then. My advice is that as many that want the cooperative, they should come and collect.
This lady, who trades in fabrics and does interior designs, speaks to Global TV. She says the intervention provided by the cooperative is not only critical, but also removes the bottlenecks associated with the process of accessing funds through conventional financial institutions.
All along, we've been finding it difficult to secure funding from financial institutions. Number one, they were asking for collaterals and other things that we could not meet up. But sometime this year, it was a kind of answered prayers for us. The cooperative come on board, and that prayer has been answered. Today, traders here and in other markets in the FCT can access fundings for their businesses.
Gilbert Amechuku tells Global TV that he built his business from the ground, relying largely on funding accessed from the cooperative.
I joined the cooperative not quite the useful time. They supported me. As you can see, there is expansion. There is more goods in the shop. When I started newly, I don't have plenty shoes. I don't have bags. I don't have shirts. I don't have shoes. But now you can see, with the power of the cooperative, there's nothing you look for here that you will not get.
In terms of bringing those in the informal sector into the structured cooperative net, Emmanuel Atama says concerted efforts are geared towards inclusion.
We also have cooperatives now, but not all of them give access to pension, housing, and all those things. So under the cooperative inclusive strategy, we are providing access to these good things of life for our members, and that is the point of inclusion.
The United Nations has set aside July 5 each year to commemorate the International Day of Cooperatives, with this year's theme being Cooperatives Driving Inclusive and Sustainable Solutions for a Better World. Uyi Agmofwegbe, reporting for Global TV News.
In sports stories now, Nigerians under 20 boys, the Flying Eagles, have qualified for the final of the ongoing West African Football Union B under 20 tournament in Ghana after a tense encounter against their Niger Republic counterparts, culminating in a penalty shootout that ended 4-3 following a scoreless 19 minutes. Throughout the match, the Flying Eagles exhibited determination but faced challenges in converting several scoring opportunities. On the other hand, the Nigerian adopted a strong defensive stance. The first half saw the Flying Eagles record 3 shots off target, while the opponents did not have any sight of the Nigerian goal. And with that, we end the AM News on Global Television. A quick reminder that Global TV is on DSTV channel 365 and Star Times channel 276. Now, kindly follow us across all social media platforms now showing on your screen by using at Global TV NG. I am Jumai Manson. Thank you for watching. Up next is Global Morning. Stay tuned.
Global Morning is your top morning show here on Global Television.
We bring you fresh news updates daily while delving into a variety of current affairs and topics.
And at the same time, keeping you well informed about important events, both national and internationals.
Global Morning serves as a valuable source of information, helping viewers like you start your day well informed.
Stay connected from Monday through Sunday to a wide range of latest news making rounds on Global Morning.
We're on the road.
Well, it's a great morning, no doubt about that, and as always, we're pleased to know that you're investing a part of your time with us. It's breakfast across West Africa, and this is how we serve ours to you. I'm Uyag Mofwebe, thanking you very specially for joining us. My colleague who, like the rest of us, defied the rain this morning to be here. I mean, as they say, we don't look like what we've been through. It's been a rainy morning for those of us who live in the federal capital of Nigeria in particular, but my colleague here defied the rain against all odds. She's here, not looking like she's been through the fire this morning, because as we say, the show must go on. Juma, it's good to see you.
It's great to see you too. And the way you said defied all odds to be here, you know, I came out like the boxer,
right?
You know, coming out. Oh, like of course. But it's great to be here. It's a beautiful Tuesday morning, and of course it's raining in some parts, it's drizzling in some parts. The weather, there are thunderstorms in some parts, like you heard from NIMET. And at the same time, let's just come out geared up, prepared, so we do not miss out on any issues at all. I am Jumai Manson, and it's great to be here, sitting side by side with my amazing, fantastic co-host. Did you see that? Did you hear that?
Well, I'm learning. I'm going to use that model, or if you like, call it templates in the future. Next time I do introduction.
You
should. So again, we're grateful for your time with us this morning on the program. As always, we are going to just put the menu in front of you, and we hope you pick every item that has been listed. But we'll begin with some of the big issues from yesterday. One of them being the protests that was staged. Well, peaceful demonstration, it was called, by retired policemen, many of them coming out to say, look, these pension payments, pension issues, and overall welfare of those who have served in uniform, particularly as it has to do with the Nigeria police, deserve to be treated better. And there's no, better way, there's no smarter way to push that conversation, to advance our concerns, than to come out very peacefully, demonstrate about this, draw the attention of the police authorities, put this in front of the government, and also, garner as much support from members of the public as we can find. And all of that happened yesterday, and as is always the case, Omoyole Sowore, the very controversial one, was right in the middle of it. At some point, some people say, well, it was as if he had taken the shine off of the objective of the protest. Whether that is true or not, well, the jury is still out on that. But the important thing, the point we're making this morning is that these these retired policemen did protest yesterday. It came with mixed feelings. And
yes, it did.
Juma and I will talk about those elements in the course of the program.
And of course, in the course of the program, the national chairman of PCRC will be here to throw in more light when it comes to the issue that happened yesterday, the controversy surrounding all of that, from the protest and undermining the Inspector General of Police, another person than Kayode Egbetokun. He's going to throw more light on all of that to know what this is all about. And you mentioned, the presidential aspirant of yes, exactly. And I will learn whether it's a political move for him to become the next president of Nigeria. But let's just see where all of this plays out. But for as much as it was what was said yesterday that it should be civil, very important that we understand that as long as it's okay to protest, but as long as you do it in a civil manner so that your message can be passed on in a civil manner, goes a long way. And for the police to come out, I think the retired police individuals have been underpaid for a very long time. Like back in the day, when you go to the police barracks, there's nothing to write home about. The porous state of the barracks is as sad as what we see. It's real. It happens. And for retirees who have served this country, who have put their lives on the line, a lot of police officers and men have died in the front of, when it comes to robbery attacks, burglaries and all of that. You see them coming all out when it comes to issues. And that is why I feel this particular protest is a step in the right direction, because we hear a lot of issues about policemen taking bribes on the road. You hear policemen engaged in robbery, policemen giving informations, policemen who actually undermine the law, by the way, in order to get that bribe to push forward the case. And I'm not holding brief for them, but if they were well paid,
would they go to that level?
If they were acknowledged, and looking at them, even when they retire, they are comfortable enough to feed their families. You'll be shocked to see a retiree who is a police officer who cannot afford to eat 3 square meals a day. Because his pensions are not coming as often as they should. And that is why they go all out. Some of them, like I said, I am not holding brief for anyone. Criminality is not an option, really. There are better ways. But because they do not know any other means of survival than being in the front of giving directives and all of that, yes sir, all of that, command, respect, all of that, they go into criminality and they feel they can do all of these things. So please, I think they should be heard and giving what is due to them. It's very important, because some of these retirees are going through a lot. Some of them can't even boast of a house, a roof over their head. No, you'll be shocked at the state.
Putting that number of years.
That is what I'm saying. Putting that, not just years, their strength, their life.
Practically on the line.
On the line, on the daily. And you'll be shocked to see that their pensions are nothing to write home about. That is even if they come at all.
Right.
It's just unfortunate. But I feel this particular protest, it should pave way. But a lot of controversies surrounding it. But we'll delve into it. Like I mentioned, the national chairman will be here, PCRC. We'll just throwing more light on what this is all about.
All right. Quite a number of things to look at this morning. Jumai highlighted how that the Inspector General of Police had also warned against this protest. I mean, if he had his way, he would prevent it from happening.
Oh, yes.
But you see, let's come down to earth about these issues.
But we're already on earth.
Well, hopefully we are, but maybe we can come down a little more.
Okay.
Quite frankly, the last few years we've seen a number of Inspectors General of Police come and go.
Oh, yes.
But the question is, are those issues not there till tomorrow? Does that warning address the issue? So I think the rule approach should be about what specifically addresses the issue. So it's not about the IG warning. Of course, the IG should warn. The IG is at the top hierarchy of the police, right? But the issues these guys are dealing with predates his term of office, his emergence as the IG. So these issues date back to the 90s, early 2000s, mid 2000s. So how is it that successive IGPs have not been able to address these issues at their own level? That's number one. Number two is, when you say you warn against the demonstration, so what is that supposed to do for these aggrieved, not well compensated retirees who have served the nation, who have put in their lives, like we mentioned time and again a while ago.
Yes.
All right, so we need to look at that. So when you say, I mean, these are practical issues, no emotions, no sentiments. So when you say you have warned, you have advised them, to what end? How does that address the issue?
Exactly.
It's like a child coming to the father to say, I need to pay tuition, otherwise I'm not allowed into the exam hall. You say, don't worry, just tell them I'm your father. So the child goes back to school, he tells the bursar, my father has said I shouldn't worry that he's going to take care of it. How does that answer the question of the child paying tuition? I think we need a much more proactive, result-focused approach to the way we address issues. So when you say, it's like the governor talking to maybe demonstrators, maybe workers in the state when they're going on strike, you say the governor's addressed them. What is the crux of that address? How does it speak to the very heart of the issues that gave rise to that demonstration in the first instance? So if you say you are one, I mean, that is, it falls short, that's the point. Because they go back home. I mean, yesterday is gone, for example. They've all gone back home, no doubt about that, but it's another day, and there are several more days ahead of us. Have those issues now been addressed? The IGP can leave office today, for example. Yes, so what happens to those people and their families? We need to be more human about our perspective on these issues. These people have spouses, they have children, they have parents who depend on them. So how does the IG's warning address those issues? So, I mean, the police authorities have to answer that question.
Yes, they will. But, you know, we can only see from afar and understand that these are some of the plights of police officers and, of course, retirees. And it's a very serious issue.
It is.
And that's why we wonder why there's so much criminality. We wonder why, what is going on. Why come the police, there's just this backlist when it comes to police officers, because they are not well taken care of.
That's right.
And like I always mention, I said, when you're in power, try as much as possible to have that balance. I know the Inspector General of Police carried, not the person that carried it, but he's doing so much when it comes to reform. When it comes to police, I will give that to him. When it comes to trying as much as possible to rebrand the police force. And not only that, arms in which he has given to some police officers' families who their spouses have died in the cause of in line of duty. I've seen all of that, how he has tried as much as possible to renovate some of the barracks, the police barracks. We've seen all that in the news.
I'm happy you mentioned barracks.
Really, if you see the barracks. But at the same time, there needs to be a balance.
Right.
Before these individuals were there, these particular ones that are now behind, the retired police officers who are pensionable, by the way, were there before now. And they went through all of these. They lived in those porous barracks. They had to be short paid, some of them. They went through a lot, even after retirement, the first, second, third, fourth, fifth. I wish we can speak to some of them that are willing to come. They went through a lot when it comes to all of. Some of them can't even train their children. Do you know that? And these are retirees. They're pensionable. It wasn't even coming regularly. So we need to create a balance when it comes to the pensioners, retirees, they're all encompassed, and those that are still serving. They need to be a balance. So you won't look as if you're giving kudos to one arm and leaving the other when they're all together in this. So for me, I think an immediate action needs to be made. These police officers are not going to stand down. They've started this cause and they want to see results. It's not about you giving them warning strikes. Really, they're retired, so they have nothing to lose. The only thing that might deter is their pension. But at the same time, no. They have nothing to lose and they're very serious-minded. They say a hungry man is an angry man.
That's right.
Really, especially when it's even very painful when a man, it seems as if he cannot cater for his family, his own. It's something that is very demoralizing, and really the necessary actions need to be taken when it comes to this. Really,
I can't agree less. But you see, the police issue is a potpourri of many challenges.
Yes, it is.
Today, Juma and I are seated here on this show. We're discussing the pension angle of it. That's just one of the several, myriad of issues that the police in this country are dealing with. In fact, many of those problems are not only fundamental, they are deep-rooted, they are systemic.
Yes.
And you know what they say about systemic problems. You also need a systemic strategy to address them. Today we're talking about retirees. The question is, before these people retired, what were their experiences while in active service? Was it better?
No.
Was it excellent? Was it robust? Was it encouraging? You see, we must become a country that faces the truth and tells the truth to itself. We've lived in denial about everything. Our politics, our economy,
education,
our leadership, our education, our health, our infrastructure, even up to the way we parent. We've lived in denial about everything. We've lied to ourselves about everything. In fact, members of the public even lie on behalf of the politicians.
Yes.
I mean, those are the issues that have brought us to where we are today. And let's talk about the police for a second. I know, for example, in 2012, our former president, Dr. Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, had visited the police academy, the one we call Police College in Ikeja, in Lagos. Why? National television had aired a documentary that spotlighted in a very unpleasant way, which was the fact at the time, though.
Of course.
Right, the state of things right there at the police college in Ikeja. How people were queuing up to get a bowl of bean,
very sad.
How it was dehumanizing.
I watched that.
All right, so the former president pays an unscheduled visit, all right, to the college. I can remember clearly, word for word, he said, "Is this place a poultry?" That's what Dr. Goodluck Jonathan, he was the president. I mean, he was the elected president. This was in 2012. He said, "Is this place a poultry?" Okay, fast forward to later that year, into 2013. They started rehabilitation of the college. I was in that college in 2013. I spent a night at that college.
Really? Okay.
Yes, all right. They have started doing all of the work and all that. Then we had former Vice President, Architect Nnamdi Sambo, His Excellency, who came to commission, or supposedly to commission, the facility. He took exemption. He said because the restrooms had not followed the original concept and design. These are facts on the ground. So when we say the IGR has warned about, that's what we're cycling back to with all of this. I'm talking about 2013. These are facts. I'm calling names and timeline about this. So have we addressed those issues now? Is the college a far better place today? But then the former president also said something that was more like an anticlimax. He said, by the way, who authorized the TV station to air such a documentary? But that was not the issue.
No.
The issue is, it's like a parent, a mom or a dad, for example. Somebody brings a child home and says, this child stole a fowl, for example. You say, how dare you bring the child to me to say he stole? The question is, did the child steal or not? There was a problem. It was highlighted. What government should do is swing into action, address the problem as quickly as possible, end the story.
That is it.
That brings us to, that's why I said I was excited when you mentioned police barracks. I mean, we have, my parents were never in the police, but we grew up with friends whose parents were in the police, parents who grew up in the barracks. All right? I mean, it's not something that you're proud of.
No.
I know of somebody, for example, somebody very dear to me who left the police college. Again, the same Ikeja, all right? Many years ago, when he got out, he was not given complete buttons for his shirt. He took a neighbor who at the time was a principal inspector in the police, in a command, to help him with extra buttons. In fact, I would make jest of him and say the shoes they gave to you looked like a casket or something. We love to write, but he's out of the force today. He's doing something else altogether. But that experience, that event stuck in my head. Is that the story we want to tell about the police? Have you come to a point, Jumai, on the final note again, where your child, my child, will be excited knowing they are going to end up in the Nigeria Police Force? Don't answer that question. Let's just go ahead.
I will not answer that question at all. Well, looking at it, comparing the police with other cops, as they call them in the United States, and other police uniformed men in other countries, there is a big difference.
Of course.
There is a big difference. And it's just unfortunate that these men, you know, it was passion at first. When they come into the academy, they were passionate about being in
all the energy.
Oh my goodness, I want to become a police. Do you know, I had an uncle. If you talk about most individuals who are from Edo State, they are more policemen because they had the passion for it. They loved it. But at some point, when you go into the system, it's nothing to write home about. They begin to compromise bit by bit. That's the thing about passion. Passion and responsibility. Oh yes. When you're passionate about something, and that passion cannot feed your family, it cannot do anything for you, and you are trying to hold abreast your dignity, your moral, all the values in which you believe in, and that's why you see individuals who have integrity, because the pressure of home front, of fees, of housing, of this is so much that
bills are flying.
And your integrity is not helping anything at this point. And that is why men who are upright tend to compromise. And these are, and some, I've seen amazing policemen who had no choice but that bribe. That is the only way I can hold front at this point, because nothing is happening. So it takes a lot. So I think we should do the needful when it comes to policemen. And I'm not saying this because I have uncles who are policemen, by the way, who are very upright, amazing individuals.
Pay the price every day.
Every day, but at the same time, even their wives will tell you, are you okay? Leave. Do something else. This is not helping. So it's just unfortunate that this is what it is. But I hope the needful is done, and this particular issue of the retirees are addressed. It's addressed with immediate effect, because these men deserve way much better. I think it's their right and not a privilege that they will serve, and they're alive today. Please, let's do the needful when it comes to addressing this particular issue at hand. Now, let's go on a very quick break, and then when we come back, it's the newspaper review segment. Stay tuned. You're welcome back from that very short break, and at about now it's a newspaper review segment, and we'll be starting with the first paper of the day, and it's the Punch, and giving us some very punchy headlines now in the voice of Uyi Agbomofwege. All right, above the nameplate it says Nigeria now spends half of its revenue on debt, and that's the presidential panel. And you will find that read on page 38. And here it says 2027 fresh LP crisis as Obi reject Dati Abure peace deal. All right, that's on page 7. And it says here, still on the Punch newspaper, Nigerian House of Assembly, it says showdown, Natasha faces police blockage today, and that's on page 7, and that's a picture of Natasha Apoti there. And here it says businesses expect rate cut as MPC reconvenes today, and that read is on page 35 of the Punch newspaper. Now the Star story reads Electricity Act fallout, and it says Gencos, Discos rage as states begin tariff cuts. For me, this is a step in the right direction, really, because it was outrageous. But you are in Bande, so it's all good. It's all good.
Well, I don't know what band I'm in, but quite frankly, this band thing is not working.
No, it's not. It's not working at all.
Just on bandos.
Just on bandos already. Let's go to. No, I didn't say anything. No comment.
Right?
And of course, the writer there reads Enugu defends power bill slash as Ondo Plateau others join tariff cuts. Gencos threatens shutdown. Okay. And of course, that's a very bold picture of the police as the protest that happened yesterday. And below that, it says pension revolt. IG vows action after ex-police officers nationwide protest. And then below that, it says service sector fuels 3.13% economic growth. And that read is on page 36 Gunmen shoot 2 Nigerians dead in South Africa. And that's on page 4 and 5. That's not a good one. And that's a picture of Abike Dabiri Erewa, and it says Awojale Ogun governor prepares for legal battle with Ifa Council. Okay. And that is on page 9. Now, that's all the major headlines on the Punch newspaper. Go out and get yourself a copy and we'll abreast. Next paper, please, Mr. Uyi.
All right, let's see what we have here on the Nigerian Tribune front page for you this morning. Top right corner first. Here it says, well, let's Alhaji Abdulaziz Risakola Alao speaks. Alhaji Yisa Risakola Alao. Well, next one, obese running mate Dati offers to resolve LP crisis. The writer tells us present at NEC meeting by Abure-led group. We understand Dr. Dati Baba Ahmed is making efforts now to reconcile all our grieving parties within the Labour Party, especially Mr. Peter Obi and Barrister Julius Abure. But we're hearing that Mr. Obi is not leaving the Labour Party, even though it's now said to be affiliated or associated with the coalition. All right, but let's see where this goes. We sure know it's all towards 2027, but we'll continue to keep an eye out for you. Top left corner of the front page, speculators panic as $1.31 billion FPI inflows. What else? Market reforms narrow exchange rate gap. Writer says experts laud Central Bank of Nigeria for driving rate convergence. That's commendable. Right corner of the paper. IGP cautions protesting ex-police officers against external influence. With the writer here, protesters insists on exit from contributory pension scheme. Why are they insisting they want to exit the CPS? Well, details await you on page 8 of the Nigerian Tribune today. The big headline says Nigeria's economy expands, records 3.13% growth in first quarter of 2025. Over 250 billion naira UBE intervention fund utilized by state governments, that's credited to the Universal Basic Education Commission, says 92.4 billion naira disbursed in 6 months. Lagos to launch 500 billion naira agricultural initiative to end feed shortage. The writer here has it that 3.7 million people face feed insecurity in northeast Nigeria. That's according to the International Committee of the Red Cross, ICRC. And then you have a picture of some of the most influential Africans here, including Aliko Dangote, the continent's wealthiest man, and the governor of Lagos State, Babajide Sanwo-Olu. All right, we flip to the Guardian newspaper real quick for you.
All right, now the Guardian newspaper guiding us through all the major headlines. Did you get that?
That was spot on.
Oh my goodness. All right, now below the nameplate, it says Shatima laments depletion of 90% forest cover. And that's on page 5. Now on page 3 on the Guardian, it says 2027 PDP declares Tinubu bad product, convenes OS-NEC meeting. And moving on now, Awojale's burial, there'll be grave repercussions, says Ogun traditional chief, and that's on page 7. Now the Star story reads, electricity tariff imbalance triggers new subsidy inefficiency debate. That's on page 6. Now below that it says IGP pledges reform as retired officers protest poor pension under contributory scheme, and that's on page 6. Now confusion LP as Dati walks tightrope amid fractions, coalition moves, and that's on page 3 also. Falana Sani fault Kemi Bandanosh over citizenship claim, and that you will find on page 5. Now it says Nigeria's GDP hits 373 trillion naira, remains 4th biggest in Africa after rebrassing, and that's on page 3 also. It says states FCTs unutilized 250 billion naira education grants worry UBEC, and that's on page 29. Court orders forfeiture of 222 $729 recovered from Chinese nationals. Okay. Go out and get yourself a copy of the Guardian newspaper to be well informed on issues making round. And next paper, please.
All right, so we move on to the next paper. This time is the Standard Times. We begin with the ones on the top right corner of the paper. It says court orders final forfeiture of 29,086 cents worth of USDT recovered from Chinese in Lagos. The Chinese guys have been in our news for quite some time recently, but read up those details on page 4 of the Standard Times today. Natasha Des Senate vows to resume today. Well, we'll keep watching to see how it goes on that front. Star headline says Nigeria's GDP rebased to 205 trillion naira. All right. IBB said Mohammed accepted Tinubu's appointment. Presidency dismisses rejection letter. Well, that letter went viral yesterday. Even though Global TV had to do due diligence to double check the story. All right. Public debt may hit 160.6 trillion naira by December, says CSL. Orca Court jails 10 for internet fraud. Hisba destroys 5.8 million naira worth of alcoholic drinks in Jigawa. Rivers Customs Service Area 2 One impounds 16 containers valued at over 20 billion naira. What do the containers actually have in them? Details await you on the second page of the Standard Times newspaper today. Edo Dajo Kika, police arrest 124 suspected cultists, recover firearms. IGP to meet protesting retired officers over pension demands. How soon will that happen? Well, you can look it up again on page 2 of the Standard Times this morning. And then finally, on the foot of the paper, U.S. imports $1.34 billion Nigerian crude oil in 5 months. That also is on the third page of the Standard Times Nigeria. Well, look up details when you pick up a copy of the paper this morning, while we move on to the Nation newspaper.
All right, the Nation newspaper above the nameplate, it says, this day Arise Media Group responds to harassment attack on free speech and press freedom by First Hold Co. PLC. Now below the nameplate, it says, IG backs demand for better welfare by retired policemen. And that's on page 2. You know, I prefer the action to it, not just words.
Right.
And the Star story reads, states fail to utilize accessed 250 billion naira back cash. And writer says 92 billion naira shared between January and June. And it says Obi's 2023 running mate to contest for president in 2027. And writer says Aburo-led LP reaffirms opposition to coalition. And beside all of that, it says Nigeria's citizenship Fed government knocks Kemi Badenoch. And United States visa fraudsters face life ban. And it says here, NBS report Nigerians brass GDP grew by 3.13% in Q1. And you will find that read on page 3. Now go ahead to get yourself a copy of the Nation newspaper. The next is This Day.
All right, we'll begin this time with the star headline on the front page of it. It says here, after rebasing, the National Bureau of Statistics, that is NBS, posts nominal GDP at $243 billion in 2024, which experts now say comes down to 205 trillion in naira terms. We have two writers with that headline. The first one says, economy grew by 3.13% in first quarter of this year. Oil contributed 3.97%, non-oil 96.03%. Oil production increased to 1.62 million barrels per day. We understand the country is shooting for 3 million barrels at some point. We'll watch out and see how it goes with that. What's more, we move it up a little. Abdul Samad Rabiu predicts improved stability in foreign exchange amid 92 billion naira loss. Those details are on page 6. NNPC recorded 905 billion naira profit in June. Federation remittances hits 6.96 trillion naira in 5 months. At the very top of the paper, this day, Arise Media Group's response to harassment and attack on free speech, press freedom by First Hold Co. PLC. This normally is the kind of case that has, listed with 2 options. You either settle amicably or you make it a subject of litigation. But we do hope that both entities will find a way to resolve this peacefully and then move on to face other very important engagements. Well, that's the much we have coming from the front page of this day newspaper today. But let's take a look at the New National Star newspaper next for you, and Chuma has those headlines.
All right, now the New National Star, and below the nameplate it says Nigeria at risk of dengue yellow fever. That's from NCDC, and that is a very serious issue, and you will find that read on page 8. Now on page 21 it says APC plunged Nigerians into hardship, insecurity, hopelessness, and that's from the PDP. Now the picture of the IGP of police, Kayode Egbetoko, and it says IGP alleges hijack as retired cops hold nationwide protests over pension payment, and that's on page 6. Now I want us to quickly look at the picture story, which is the police protest, and look at all the demands. It says decent salaries now, end police slavery, pensions for retired officers, dignity for those in uniform. They still remember those who are in uniform, not just talking about themselves.
Those coming from behind.
Those coming from behind, and that is what it should be.
Right.
Now those in front should always look at those behind and see how they can uplift them. And those who are behind should always be the mouthpiece of those in front of them. It's a balance, and it's very important. Now, the Star story here on the New National Star says new visa policy hurting national interest, and that's investigations. And the two-rider reads, experts say policy runs counter to ease of doing business. And next says, strokes unfriendly backlash from diaspora community. And it says here 3,906.252 students benefit from NELFON loan in 1 year. Now terrorism, FG secures over 730 convictions, and that's on page 10. 3.7 million risk malnutrition as food crisis deepen in Northeast, and that's from the Red Cross. And for the Red Cross to come out and say that, it is very accurate, and you see that on page 2. Now below the foot of the New National Star, it says Nigerians GDP rebase to 205 trillion naira, grows by 3.13% in Q1 2025. Now Hisba destroys 5.8 million naira worth of alcohol in Jigawa, and that's on page 8. Alleged 80.2 billion naira fraud, court rejects Yahya Bello's travel application. Now, Doctors Now threatens nationwide strike on Thursday, and that is on page 8. And you know what it is when the doctors go on strike, individuals, in fact, I pray it doesn't get to that. Now, the next is the Daily Monitor, and you will run us through the paper.
Okay, we start from the headline. Above the nameplate here, it says Nigeria's GDP improves by 3.13% in Q1 2025. That is credited to the National Bureau of Statistics. Further down, Abure-led Labour Party rules out 2027 coalition plans. So what are they going to do? Run solo, maybe. PSC approves promotion of 12 CPs, other senior officers. UNDP TED Fund partner to boost university innovation hubs. Page 5 of the Daily Monitor is where you have those details. 3.7 million people face food insecurity in northeast Nigeria. ICRC is the entity to whom that is credited. Tinubu's presidency, bad markets, won't get another term in 2027. That's the PDP they're talking. And the writer says to us, accuses APC-led federal government of plunging Nigerians into economic hardship, insecurity, hopelessness. Then lastly, no evidence yet of states diverting local government's funds, says RMAFC, that's the Revenue Mobilization and Fiscal Committee. All right, then it has a writer here, admits that despite Supreme Court ruling, local governments still not receiving funds directly. So what really are the facts? Are the funds being diverted, or can we go to bed with both eyes closed, believing that those funds are actually trickling down to the local government for whom they are meant? Well, we wait to see. It's been 1 year since that landmark Supreme Court verdict. What we have done with it so far is yet to be understood fully. We'll leave it here on the Daily Monitor for you. Pick up a copy, read up details for yourself, but we turn to the Leadership newspaper at this point.
All right, now the Leadership newspaper, and above the nameplate it says Governor Rada in Abuja for treatment after accident involving convoy, and unfortunate incident there, and coming all the way from, yes, coming all the way, and then that's on page 6. Niger community raises 100 million naira from land rent to repair school and clinic, and that's a step in the right direction. Right. Not everything you just leave in the hands of, you know, individuals coming together to know that this is very beneficial to their community, and that read you will find on page 14. Now, below the nameplate, it says illegal levies by non-state actors push up prices. And the Star story reads, LP crisis, Baba Ahmed reconciles with Abure faction. And that's on page 2. And it says mixed reactions as economy hits 372.822 trillion naira after rebracing. And that's on page 4. And it says here, police retirees protest nationwide over pension scheme, and that you will find on page 7. And it says Emir Sanusi seeks stiffer punishment for wife beaters. Oh my goodness. A step in an amazing direction. Right. And that you will find on page 6. Stiffer punishments, very important. I feel a man should know better. Walk away. Women, yes, I know we have what we call in the Pigeon Palace sharp mouth. Yeah, that's what we do. That's our weapon. But just walk away. When you do that the first time, the second time, if she has a heart, she'll work on herself and make things better. But you don't have to beat up a woman.
And whatever you do, just know that nobody has to die for the marriage to succeed.
No, please, no one has to die.
It should never come to that.
No, it should never. That's why it's better to just walk away. Just separate amicably because of the children. Right. But please, if it's not working, it's not working. Don't even force. You can be. It's better off being friends than being enemies or killing one another.
And living in the same room.
Living in the same room. If you cannot stand the person in which you're in whom you're with, and then you've tried to work on it and it's not working, just walk away. I think it's easier. Please, just.
So Juma is saying, if it's not working, walk.
If it's not working, yeah, really, yeah. But I think that's the right thing to do than for anyone to die in the cause of marriage. There are better ways, you know. There are better ways, really. Believe me. And here it says Mohammed Babangida denies rejecting Tinubu's appointment. We'll rebuild with NEC meeting, and that's PDP, and then you will find on page 21. Osimhen joins Galatasaray in 75 million euro deal. Of course he will. And that is all on the Leadership paper. Please go out and get yourself a copy and be well abreast. And the next is the Daily Trust. Over to you, Lee.
All right, let's bring you all of those headlines real quick from the Daily Trust newspaper. First one here says rebasing. That's a kicker. Nigeria's GDP hits 372.82 trillion naira as poverty rate worsens. Irony of an economy, you want to say. But then we up it a little to the top left corner of the paper. Tinubu's directive on Benue crisis yet to be implemented, as credited to immediate past governor of the state, Samuel Ortom. Nigeria sliding towards authoritarian rule That's the Nigeria Labour Congress. Police pensioners hold protest in Abuja, Kwara, Plateau, others. Then we bring it down a little here where we have about 4 more headlines. Gandhiji's replacement tops agenda as APC holds NEC meeting Thursday. Abuja demolition victim dies hours after. What could that be from? Heart attack or what? Well, those details, as sad as they may be, await you on page 20 of the Daily Trust newspaper. Northeast to pay highest rates in proposed electricity tariff hike. 2027 PDP NEC to review report on zoning national convention. Right, those are your headlines from the Daily Trust, but then we have more coming from the First newspaper where Juma has the headlines for us.
All right, now the First news, and it says above the name, beside the nameplate, it says Emir Sanusi to chiefs, beat your wives, forfeit your titles. Now that's a man that knows the value and worth of a woman. Now it says below that, it says Victor Osimhen set for Galatasaray Medical in 75 million euro blockbuster deal. Yes, it is. Like, seriously, was he going to turn it down? Are you kidding me? Now, court denies Yahaya Bello's travel request, cites unsigned medical report. Edo police arrest 200 in major crime cultism kidnap offensives. And it says Chinese cyber syndicate loses $222 in USDT to federal government. Now the Star story reads, FG secures 730 terror convictions, target exit from FATF grey list. And of course, that's a picture story of police protests. It's making rounds because it's a very serious issue here. Now, Nigeria's GDP rebraced to 205 trillion naira, up 41% from 2014. FG bows to pressure, suspends controversial doctors' pay circular. Reps to probe refineries after Dangote's still fears. And that is all on the First newspaper. Next is the Daily Times, and that's the last paper of the day, by the way. Over to you now,
Let's see one with a picture of the immediate past governor of Kogi State, a man some persons will say is embattled as well. Yahaya Bello says alleged 80.2 billion naira fraud. Again, courts denies Yahaya Bello overseas a medical trip. Bauchi governor to deploy drones to fight bandits. There has to be some tech innovation in this regard, no doubt. But let's see what the Star headline tells us. Retired police officers protesting in Abuja threaten to disrupt National Assembly. You can see a picture of Omoyele Sowore there, the presidential candidate of the AAC, the African Action Congress, in 2019 and 2023. A man who said his Ray-Ban AI glasses were stolen yesterday. But then a few more headlines there for you. All right. 2027, only PDP can defeat Tinubu. That's according to NPS. Details await you on page 10. Reps investigates 25 insurance companies over alleged fraud. Crack in Labour Party widens as Obi's VP identifies with Abure faction. Feels like some political tension building. Right. Igbo Diaspora Group lauds Tinubu's approval of Southeast Investment Company. Details on page 5 as well. Lastly, Port Harcourt International Airport generates over 21.4 billion naira in 4 years. ISPPP expansion. Yes, public-private partnership. Not a bad idea as long as it's managed with sincerity of purpose. But it turns out we have one more paper, the Blueprint newspaper. That will be our very last paper.
Okay.
This morning on this segment of the program.
All right, the Blueprint newspaper. All right, it's not much on the Blueprint, and it says above the nameplate of the blueprint, it says we have significantly denied terror network access to funds, and that's federal government. And now Jiga speaks on potentials of livestock export as Blueprint unveils 2024 award winners. Now below all of that, it says why customers will reintroduce 4% free on board levy, and that's from CGC Adeni. And basically that is it on the newspaper review segment. Now this particular, all the response that we've read are all based on their own editorial. It's the editorial judgment of all the papers in which we've read. Is none of Global Television. We just read through them, right?
That's right.
And of course Global Television has not added or subtracted to this particular editorial write-ups by these newspapers. Now let's quickly go on a very quick break, but before then, up next is Social Buzz with Ogochukwu Mobono. Stay tuned.
Good morning and welcome to Social Buzz on Global Morning. I am Ogochukwu Mobono. What exactly is happening today? Well, Omoyele Sowore joins retired police officers protest over poor welfare in Abuja on Monday. The 2023 presidential candidate of the African Action Congress AAC, Omoyele Sowore, joined retired police officers and other activists on Monday in a protest in Abuja, demanding better welfare and an immediate exit from the contributory pension scheme. The demonstration, led by the Nigerian Union of Retired Police Officers, commenced at the National Assembly Complex and was expected to continue for the force headquarters. The retirees condemned the contributory pension scheme, calling it discriminatory and exploitative, and alleged that many of their colleagues had died without receiving their full retirement benefits. What was supposed to be a peaceful protest became chaotic when Sowore raised an alarm about his glasses in the middle of the protest. Sowore's AI glasses was allegedly stolen by an officer. He argued that one of the Nigerian police force officers dressed in mufti stole my AI Ray-Ban glasses at the force headquarters during police protest on Monday. According to Sowore, he said his superiors are shielding him. Well, please DM if you know his name and rank as soon as possible. But that was Sowore is saying that during the protest they stole his AI glasses, and he was alleging that the police officer actually stole these glasses. How can someone come out, put in effort to help you, and things like this have been done? Anyways, let's take a look at the short video. Wow. These are retired police officers who are out there and asking for their rights, their due right. After serving the Nigerian government for years, they demand their right. When they retire, there are some gratuity and also pensions that were supposed to be accrued to them, but then they are not meeting up and they are out in their numbers to demand their right. And it was only cool for Sowore to be part of them and also help, to push further for the rights of these police officers. But then again, a tragedy met it during the protest, which Sowore wasn't really finding funny. But again, the protest continued, and I hope they actually got what exactly they wanted. I hope they were listened to. But we're going to be taking comments from social media as regards this issue. And the first comment here is coming from Ifyboy231, and he says, reverse psychology. I think he was talking about the police officers who were shielding the retired police officers from, airing their view concerning and demonstrating their rights concerning the pension, their pension not being paid. So he's saying reverse psychology. Police right now are shielding police over protests. We've always known police to always shield, ordinary citizens whenever it's coming to protest, but we never knew that police can actually protest for their rights. But what can we say? These are human beings and they've said, and it is time for them to be paid their due diligence. Definitely you protest. You definitely protest. Whatever it is, someone owes you. So far it's your right. So far it is your right. You will definitely protest for it. Well, the second comment is coming from LightX548. And LightX says, these police officers currently serving is seeing what their future will be like. And they are not joining the protest. They are currently serving. I'm happy, LightX, you actually made that known. They are currently serving, and this is the right thing to do. They cannot join the protest when they are currently serving. And the people protesting are actually retired police officers. So hopefully before it is their turn, or before it gets to their turn, definitely things must have changed, and the government will definitely do the right thing. But now they are serving, and the right thing for them to do is to guide these protesters and make sure that they are not wild during protest, and the protest doesn't lead to something that goes south. Nobody wants to be injured in protests like this. So the third, the last but not the least comment is coming from Otedola 2020, and Otedola says, see who they stop retired police. LOL, Nigeria is a movie. What can I say, Otedola? Nigeria, whether you call it a movie or not, I think, like I said, these police are still serving, and definitely they have to stop them. If there is protest anywhere, we know the policemen to always stop protesters or to help guide them towards a peaceful protest to make sure that the place isn't chaotic and doesn't lead to any form of stampede or any form of injuries or being hijacked by thugs. So I think they're actually doing the right thing to make sure they restore peace and calm to the environment even while these retired police officers protest. I hope that their demand have been met. I hope that the government actually answered or listens to them and answered whatever it is they are out on the street for, which is their right. Pension is their right, so they actually deserve to be paid their pension. Well, I know you want to be part of this conversation. You must have seen this video, you must have watched it online, and you want to be part of this conversation. Please drop your comments using the following social media handles you see right now on your screen and be part of this conversation. We want to see, take your comments. Maybe, who knows, your comment might actually pop up next time in our next conversation. Well, today I'll be leaving you in the hands of the Global Morning crew as Global Morning continues. I am August Kumabuno. So stay with us.
Morning is your top morning show here on Global Television.
We bring you fresh news updates daily while delving into a variety of current affairs and topics.
And at the same time, keeping you well informed about important events, both national and international.
Global Morning serves as a valuable source of information, helping viewers like you start your day well informed.
Stay connected from Monday through Sunday to a wide range of latest news making rounds on Global Morning.
We're on the road to protest.
And the president meets all of our demands.
This is Global Morning. You're welcome to the part one of Global Morning when it comes to the discuss of the day. Now we're looking at a very vital issue about the protest that happened with retired police officers yesterday in the heart of Abuja and of course everywhere around Nigeria. Now pension payments are regular payments made to people who have retired from work. Now, these payments are usually made by the government or a private company. Now, recently, retired policemen demonstrated here in Abuja. They were likely protesting issues related to their pension payments, such as delays, insufficient amounts, or other related grievances. Now, today, I am being joined by the national chairman of the PCRC, that is Police Community Relations Committee, no other person than Alhaji Magaji Ibrahim Olaniyo, of course, Esquire. He is the national chairman both in Nigeria and in diaspora. Sir, you are welcome. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you very much.
All right. Now, what are the issues that led to yesterday's demonstration by the retired police officers?
Well, thank you very much. The situation of our retired police officers is so pathetic. We sympathize with them. And to the best of my knowledge as the national chairman of PCRC, this is not just something that happened overnight. This is something the current IGP inherit. It's a problem IGP Kayode Egbetokun inherit. And all the former IGP, they have been trying their best in just a one-way address, trying to remove the police pensioner from this, I can call it evil pension plan, but without success. But IGP Kayode Egbetokun is doing it with double hand, finding another way around to make life easy for the retired police officers. So, and to me, it's like they misrepresent his good intention. It's as if when a lion is in trap, somebody that try to remove the lion from cage need to hold the lion tightly for him or her to succeed in a mission, rescue mission. IGP Kayode Egbetokun is trying other way around to put smile to this retired officer's face, but they misrepresent his good intention. We have other people that are just for their own service reason, envy try to envy him, blackmail him. And his own way of addressing that, even the former IGP tried to resolve it, they cannot. While I'm trying to resolve this, while I'm trying to bring you out of this, I'm trying another way around to support you. They misrepresent it, thinking, oh, you don't want us to move out of this pension scheme, which is not. Egbetokun is just a silent achiever. He did a lot for the Nigeria police. And he's a man that fear Almighty God. And the only problem is not just somebody that is lousy. He did a lot. And good enough, yesterday, as they are protesting, he's holding meeting with the National Security Advisor on way forward. So he did a lot. And very soon, the same set of people that go out and demonstrate, calling him all sort of name, that's the only problem in Nigeria. By the time they started enjoying now, they will keep silence.
But I want to ask a very serious issue now. Well, of course, we know that the Inspector General of Police, not the President, Kayode Egbetokun, has done so much when it comes to trying as much as possible to reform the Nigerian police. Of course, we knew of how the dilapidated state of the police barracks, extending that good hand of fellowship to officers and men who have died in the cause of service to their families. And we've seen all of that. Now, with this demonstration that happened yesterday, now has the following been resolved now when it comes to giving what is due to these pensioners who are retired, who are just asking for a better cause of livelihood when it comes to what is due to them and their families?
Well, thank you very much. For you to see a different way in policing system under Kayode Egbetokun, the same set of people that drag themselves to somebody that benefits from crisis in this country. I won't mention his name, but we all know him that only whenever he wants to just come to limelight, he will create confusion in the country. For law officers now to go and join hand with somebody that is trying to satisfy his masters, they have a genuine cause, but they take it in a very wrong way. Egbetokun is not their problem. The National Assembly is to work on the law that put them under this scheme. The President is to sign. If you have any issue, maintain your presence at National Assembly, put pressure on them, put pressure on the Presidency. So now calling IGP Egbetokun all sort of name to show that the man is a God-fearing man. After blackmailing him, call him all sort of name, the man still go ahead and sit down with this pensioner yesterday. And I know from that yesterday meeting, the genuine aggrieved police pensioner, they went home happy yesterday with word of assurance, with fact and figure presented to them off camera by IGP Kayode Egbetokun. They all knows, but we have some disgruntled elements. You know, they are everywhere. That they are sponsored by political enemy of this present administration. And in terms of support, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu too is doing a lot, because everything fall back to his table. Keep on assuring the IGP that I'm going to put smile to the faces of our veterans that serve this nation meritoriously, but not everything they can just bring to me. So, but on our own as a PC, as a Police Community Relation Committee, we too are putting pressure. We are working around, writing letter. Even yesterday I had a meeting with a minister, I'm not going to disclose the name, on this same issue. So, but if they want, they should now remove politics or enviness out of their grievances. That is just my advice for them. Very soon they are going to smile. My only problem is Nigeria, when they have grievances, is going to be public consumption, but when they have solution, everybody will smile to his bedroom. That's it.
Of course, that's true. But you know, some Nigerians, like you mentioned now, it's not all about what played out yesterday. It's not all about the Inspector General of Police, not the person that carried the Egbetokun. Now, there are speculations that the demonstration highlights an even bigger concern within the Nigerian police force. That it's much more than just police officers coming out with their placards saying they want better forms of livelihood, their pension should be paid, and all of that. What's your take? Because you mentioned a little bit. What's your take? Is it, how true is it, and can you throw more light if it is?
There is a lot of political undertone, and there is a lot of, some people just try to raise their followers on all these Facebook and other social media, because if the Nigeria police pensioner, they have their rights, and this is the first time and the Inspector General of Police will allow somebody to come to the doorstep of first secretary, of which we know what happened of recent when the bombers tried to attack the first secretary. That we lost so many people and so many materials. That place is a no-go area. Compared to military, you cannot dare to do that. But I don't think the previous IGP can allow that. But Egbetokun is policing this country with human face. Even to me, I used to see him and like of me of his PPRO as human rights activists in police uniform. They allow this, and for them to now see some criminal element among the protesters, people that whatever comes that has to do with police, they condemn it. They now turn themselves to overnight friend of the retired police officer. Police officers should just agitate straight. Even if the agitation is just direct agitation, pure agitation without any political or any criminal support, we the PCRC can join them. We have been doing this. They have their right. It's their legitimate right, and their condition is very poor. We all know about that. Even at our own level, in our own little way, we are planning, we have been supporting them. Part of what we did when I became the national chairman, though we support the widow of the police officer that died in the active service, we give scholarship to 17 children of police officers that lost their life in active service. But we are planning now to look into how we are going to partner with this veteran. Part of what we are doing is that I direct all our states across the 36 states and 17 so to start engaging them as resource person, and we are trying to encourage them with stipends. That is part of our own, and we try to introduce them to our patrons, like to have them as a CSO of their company, senior officers among them. We have been doing this from our level at the PCRC. Even that some of them enjoy being the CSO of baby company that have confidence in our leadership, than even you will not see those people in all these protests. And we want to work with them at least to think ahead, apart from is their right and is their legitimate right to have their pension, very good one compared to other service. But we are going to engage them how we can advise for them to think, because majority of our veterans, they are in office as if tomorrow is not coming. So majority are not planning for tomorrow. So we want to encourage them, we want to dialogue with them, we sympathize with them, we stand with them, but we want them to do it that we don't have anything to see. We want to advise them that they must be on their own. They don't need any criminal element. They don't need to charter crowd. When we have a 18 years boy with a placard, pay police, and you are not the son of a police officer, is that genuine love? When we see the boy that is selling minerals, chartered one, why chartered boys with 5,000, 6,000 because we want them to protest? bringing the boys that are selling drugs, all the boys from one joint sharing money. Where is the source of the money? That shows there are some criminal and political elements that have tried to hijack this genuine protest. So this genuine protest has been defeated with the inflation of the criminal element, the enemy of the state. Whatever we are doing, shouting, wailing, everything is going back to the President, Commander-in-Chief of Armed Forces. Everything is going back to IGP Egbetokun, an IGP that is in the office causing the National Assembly. And you people are now calling him fake IGP. And without that Egbetokun, you cannot achieve your aim. And you are calling somebody that will help you, your doctor that is there to treat you, calling him a fake doctor. But it's because he's a godly person. I'm not sorry to say this in public.
Okay.
It baffles me that IGP Egbetokun decided again to go and meet with the people that call him all sort of name outside, with the people that chatter criminal elements.
But that's what a good leader is all about.
We have many of him in this country.
That's what a good leader is all about.
Well, that is good of
for dialogue to be put in
That
place.
is a good one from him. That shows who is a Nigeria police officer.
Now let me ask a question. With all of this that is happening, this is like the first of its kind that police officers will come out in their mass, like even when you say there are some criminal elements amongst them. But do you think this is long overdue? Because some of these policemen, these ones that are pensioners, retired, went through the dilapidated state of the Nigerian police, coming from their barracks being in poor states, their salaries, nothing to write home about, and now they retired, and it's not that the pensions were coming as frequently as it should. Do you think this protest is long overdue?
I think dialogue instead of protest. I go for dialogue instead of protest, and we are going to work with them. You see, after any protest, after any war, you still go back to the round table. Why not choose round table instead of going to war? Why not choose round table instead of protest?
So this is the only language the Nigerian government understands. Once there is a protest, there is always action. But once there is a dialogue, nothing seems to come out of it.
But let me tell you this. I can say it as a national chairman of Police Community Relation Committee. This protest, every good thing is just a calculated attempt to give Nigeria police under IGP Kayode Egbetokun bad name. Without all these protests, there's a lot of incentive packaged by IGP Kayode Egbetokun, and you know you cannot do it all alone. You need the support of Police Service Commission, of which they are working with him. You need the support of Minister for Police Affairs, of which is working with him. You need the support of National Security Advisor. You need the support of National Assembly. Even he engaged us in a member of PCLC. We are talking to our representative in National Assembly from our constituency, because it's been a lot. By the time the result came out, it's going to be a thing of I'm not going to be happy because they will think it's as usual. All the good report that is coming out is not because of this protest. Egbetokun have been working hard, and very soon the result is going to come out very soon. In fact, the representative of the police pensioner that engaged IGP Kayode Egbetokun off camera yesterday, if they are going to be fair to the God that they are serving, they will give credit to him. So it's not under any pressure. He's just trying, because he said them that I too am going to be part of you. My family friends that are in police service, we are going to join you as well. Of course. So he's trying to. So any good thing. Many good things are coming the way of Nigeria police pensioner, and it's not because of this pressure. Egbetokun is doing everything he can do godly to make sure he puts smile on their face. And to the best of my knowledge, the President, Commander-in-Chief of Armed Forces, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, is in line with him, not because of any pressure. the Nigeria police pensioner, they are going to smile, and it's going to be double, inshallah.
All right, now from the placard that we saw on the protest, I read something, I read it out this morning, and it says, hashtag police protest. Now they said one, they want decent salaries now. And the other says, end police slavery. The third one says, pensions for retired officers. And the fourth one says, dignity for those in uniform. Now, of course, the Inspector General of Police, not the person that carried Egbeto, he came out and he gave that assurance that all will be met. Now, the response, let's go in terms of addressing these issues. How do you see his response, and how far do you think he will come through with them? How fast do you think he'll come through with them?
Well, you need to know, I thank God you mentioned all the good work of IGP Kayode Egbetokun. Let me start from dignity. If you are privileged to be attached by a police officer now, you now turn him to somebody that will hold your bag. Whoever you are, Egbetokun will withdraw your police orderly. That is dignity, what we are talking about.
Of course.
And you can see in dignity, nobody will respect a police officer that is on the road extorting money. Egbetokun is somebody that is a disciplinarian. He disciplined the hiring officer and he encouraged. It's only under Egbetokun, and we thank God for the President, Commander in Chief of Armed Forces that give us a day that we call Police Day, of which Egbetokun choose to set up a body to celebrate the good acts. And let me tell you this, in Nigeria police we have 95% good police officers. If you want to have a mistrust, it's just only 5%. I can believe that with anybody any day. Let's bring the service one by one and compare police officers. Dignity is fighting on that. The right of the civilian they are protecting is fighting for that. The way even we are to live with salary and wages, and we work under my former national chairman, Ambassador Farouk Abdullah Miyama. He spearhead our visit to salary and wages, where we demanded for the new salary structure for Nigeria police, and we thank God they achieved them. And under my administration, we are having a date with them. The police officers that are working, they are working under very poor salary. We all know that.
Yes.
Very poor one. They are clamoring for that. And Egbetokun to IGP Kayode Egbetokun to is in line with that. That something tangible must be given to the Nigeria police, serving police officers. And they are in child one. I tell you, have a lot of plan. And it's just, I suspect it's a saboteur that some people knows something good will come out. Let us hijack, let us protest, so that for Nigeria to believe it's as usual. It's not as usual in Nigeria police. Egbetokun is working hard. So many good things will come out. And I will appeal to the pensioner to come out when they are smiling. Let Nigeria knows they should not be silent. Even if they're silent, we are coming out to say it. I will come back to this television station.
Okay.
By the time IGP Kayode Egbetokun roll out, by the time he get approval for all his requests from the presidency, if police fail to come out, if the pensioner fail to come out, I as the national chairman police community relation committee, the door within the police and the member of public, I will come back here to come and say it loud.
All right, let's talk briefly about the convener of the Revolution Now movement, Omole Sowore. Now, he came out, he actually spearheaded this particular protest. Do you think this is just a presidential aspiration stunt, or truly he believes that the police needs all the support, their rights need to be paid? As he came out, and he's part of it. We also from the protest that he's one presidential aspirant that came out to support the police. What's your take on that, briefly?
No, you know, when somebody believe he cannot get something from the main door, he may think from the back door. Showore is working for his paymasters. Even for him, he knows, let's go back to his local government and contest for councillor to his ward. He knows he cannot win. He knows he cannot win local government chairman position, talk less of governor. But he's having some people, you know, it's not part of us in this country. Whenever you see Showore in the country, you try to gather little money, even through social media. After people started watching, it's a business we all know. It's not a genuine intended support for Nigeria and Nigeria police. It's just a marketer trying to market the violence he has in his stock. So it's just business as usual for him. And he knows from now, this is his campaign strategy. When Nancy now say he come out with his presidential aspiration, that is his own business enterprise.
Okay.
So people started donating for him. And if we are getting there, even Showore is part of the politician, we need to call out to come and give us the account of his donation so far received. I think he came out twice. Let him come out and explain. This is donation that comes in, how I spend it. By the time our brother gets all this donation, he will fly back to the state, to the United States of America, where he have his family.
Okay.
If he's truly in Nigeria, let him move his family down to Nigeria.
Okay.
Let us face it together. But for a foreigner to come and gather money here and even we don't
He's a Nigerian, by the way.
Oh my dear sister, somebody for Nigerian, bring your family here. Let's go to the same market. Don't come here and extort us and go back.
Okay.
Don't come here and play on the intelligence of people that serve this country, even people that you see as your sworn enemy when they are in uniform. Walk on overnight now. Showore is now the friend of the same police that he condemned. He's now their friend overnight. It's just for business. It's not there for because.
But they say everybody is a friend to the police. So
everybody is a friend for the Nigeria police.
Yes.
But for somebody that failed to recognize the law of this country, for somebody that failed, we have the highest legislative organ, that is the Senate, and it's in the public when the Senate come out with 4 years term for the Inspector General of Police under late President Muhammadu Buhari, and the President Commander-in-Chief of Armed Forces, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, signed it, and good enough, Egbetoku is the first IGP to benefit from this. This even yesterday is addressing the IGP as a fake IGP. So it's not helping the pensioner, it's just trying to fill his own purse. That is just it.
All right.
It's wrong for somebody like him to lead a genuine protest that need the attention of the Inspector General of Police, that need the attention of federal government of this country.
All right, now, like I mentioned before at the beginning of the program, I am being joined by the national chairman, no other person than Alhaji Magaji Ibrahim Onlaniyan, and of course, he is the national chairman of the Police Community Relations Committee. Now, I want you to look at that camera and say something to these retired pensioners who came out yesterday for genuine reasons, because this is their right and not just a benefit. They have served Nigeria as veterans and they deserve what they're not doing anything otherwise. They just want their right to be given to them. So please look into that camera and say something to them to encourage them.
The Nigeria Police pensioner, the PCLC under my leadership, we are 100% with you, and we are with the Inspector General of Police, and I'm telling you from the information available to me that IGP Kayode Egbetoku is not sleeping on your issue and is not under any pressure because he believes you are his immediate family member, and God will use Kayode Egbetoku to put smile to your face, because what you are agitating for is not out of place. It's your right, and you deserve to live a better life after serving this country. Because I can say it, you are the best civil servant in this country. Other civil servants, they have time of schedule, but the Nigeria police, serving Nigeria police, a time will come that you will be in your office 48 hours. Even doctors cannot do that. You are doing a lot for this country, and I pray God will touch the heart of the government under the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. He will make history to put smile on your face. We are with you, and we will continue to be there for you. I will advise you, do away with criminal elements. You don't need them to have. You have that reputation, retired police officer. It's too big than any criminal element to be moving around you. Do away with them. Don't allow politicians. You have a genuine cause and you are going to succeed. We are with you.
All right, well said there by the national chairman of PCRC, no other person than Alhaji Magaji Ibrahim Olaniyo. Of course, he is the national chairman of Police Community Relations Committee, both home and in diaspora. And he has said it to encourage all retired police officers that there is hope, and you deserve every good thing that comes to you. And with that, we've ended the first segment of Global Morning. And up next is the second segment. Do not go anywhere. Global Morning continues. Stay tuned.
Global Morning is your top morning show here on Global Television.
We bring you fresh news updates daily while delving into a variety of current affairs and topics.
And at the same time, keeping you well informed about important events, both national and internationals.
Global Morning serves as a valuable source of information, helping viewers like you start your day well informed.
Stay connected from Monday through Sunday to a wide range of latest news making rounds on Global Morning.
We're on the road to protest.
And the president meets all of our demands.
This is Global Morning.
Let's get talking quickly, everyone, about our next conversation on the program this morning. The last few days have seen so much of, if you like, rage of some kind coming out of Edo State. This time, it's not about the elections, or at least not about the last one that saw to the emergence of Senator Monday Okpebholo as the governor of that state. It's about a back and forth that has now happened, for the most part, not even between Governor Monday Okpebholo and His Excellency Peter Obi, but more of strife and some sort of tussle between the supporters of these two gentlemen. For starters, just for the benefit of our viewers, Governor Monday is on record, Okpebholo, to have said that Peter Obi, the former governor of Anambra State, former flag bearer of the Labour Party in the 2023 presidential election, is not banned from coming to Edo State. However, there must be standard operating procedure. The governor, by that, is saying that Mr. Peter Obi must notify the government, duly notify the government of his coming to Edo State, and obtain approval in that regard before he visits the state. The governor goes ahead to say that at a point the former Anambra State governor had visited the state, and on account of the rowdiness that accompanied the engagement they had in the state at the time, some 2 or 3 persons had died. Others have said, well, it's only natural that you can't come into a state, whether it's Edo or any other in this country, without at least having the courtesy of notifying the chief executive of that state, who happens to be the governor. And we have seen people also say that, in a bit of fairness to Governor Okpebholo, he's not the first to have said that. Whether you're talking about Benue, you're talking about even Anambra, when the same Peter Obi was the governor, similar statements, similar utterances have been made, actions in that regard had also been taken. So it goes ahead to suggest that there's a bit of, if you like, pattern or trajectory to this kind of thing, but the appropriateness or the propriety or otherwise of it is what has now become disturbing, because somebody once said that if you continue to do the wrong things, it's a matter of time, they will become the tradition, they will become the convention, and for whatever reason under heaven, they will become right. I'm joined this morning by somebody who prides himself in not just being a member of the All Progressives Congress, which is the ruling party at the federal level, and as well the ruling party in Edo State, but he's also a staunch, relentless, unrepentant, and unapologetic supporter of Governor Monday Okpebholo. Well, hi, Chief Brian Haruna. I'd like to say a big thank you for coming on the program this morning. But I know, as expected, you're going to throw your weight behind the state governor, your leader of the party in Edo State. But
This has become almost a national discourse at this point, even though it's an issue that is Edo State specific. However, we have not heard at least something official from Peter Obi, whose birthday, by the way, was just about 2 days ago. Maybe the birthday euphoria is a bit of a pleasant distraction for him. But talk to our viewers about the, if you like, imports of this statement by Governor Okpebholo.
Okay, good morning, Oye.
Good morning.
First of all, as an APC member, and just like you have said, a staunch supporter of the governor of Edo State, not just a supporter, I was a member of the campaign council, and also on the personal ground, is my leader. Okpebholo is known for peace. He promotes peace, he talks peace, but everything built around due process. Okpebholo did not threaten Peter Obi in any way. He reminded, or at best, advised him that the road he was treading on, was wrong by protocol, by courtesy, by procedures. This is not about wrong precedence. As the Chief Security Officer of the state, as provided in the 1999 Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Section 215, subsection 4, examine and bequeathed security roles to every individual at state level to the governor, with, by extension, specific order for him to call on the Commissioner of Police to act when the need arise. And at the time Peter Obi was in Edo State, he became a security responsibility of Okpebholo until he leaves that state. Are we together?
Yeah.
If Peter Obi was the security responsibility of Okpebholo, and Okpebholo feels that he has breached an aspect of security protocol based on his position as a national leader of a party, a presidential candidate, a 2 times governor, it's not a small political meet, no matter how you look at it. And Okpebholo felt such should be corrected to avoid any breach of security process next time or any other time. Then what is the noise all about? We've blown this issue out of proportion. We've cascaded it into political backlash. It's not like give the dog a bad name just because you want to hang it. Most of the people building narratives are from the opposition. Because it's not an issue in the first place that is now gaining national attention. To the extent that you can imagine people like Serap, they are writing to US Embassy, UN, they should ban, visa ban for Okpebholo and all that.
You think that's overreaction?
For goodness sake. An anomaly that is done. I just quoted the laws for you. An anomaly that is done, that was done by Obi, and the governor reprimanded him and advised him not to do it again. Next time he should inform me so that he can provide security protection for him. There's no former governor. Even ministers, former ministers come to Edo State. They don't need to be APC members. Even former President Obasanjo come to Edo State. Even when Oshomole was the governor, he will tell Oshomole that courtesy demands he comes to you, but he's here on a private visit. Protocol demand, and then when he informed the governor provide every necessary security arrangement. Order the Commissioner of Police to say XYZ national political individual is around, provide your boys, provide the cars, and every logistics will be taken care of, and giving security details to follow him around. What if anything had happened? Nobody thinks about that. Then we will now turn around
to see what is the state government still saying about these acts that happened to Obi, God forbid, in Edo State. Then we will realize that it is the responsibility of Okpebholo to provide security. Obi is not a figure that should be walking up and down. This is not political electionary. When you say, oh, it's Labour Party people will receive him. Even during political electionary, I remember vividly in the 2012 governorship election in Edo State, when Oshomole was contesting re-election. Goodluck was in Edo State to support his PDP candidate as the president of Nigeria. But Kosi demanded that Oshomole should provide all the security arrangements right from the airport. Till he escorted, he followed them to the Oba Palace and handed him over, leave the security, everything with him, handed him over to the PDP people. From there, they were going to the Obe Stadium for flag off for PDP. Let's do things the way it ought to be done. You don't breach security and turn around to blackmail the system again. The same system you are clamoring to come to change that you voted in. You went to, you praised a Plateau State governor for giving you all the necessary support that you went to visit the IDPs there and donated money to them. On your way coming, you never wrote to Benue State government. The same will be an IDP that is being run by the government of the states. You were coming there. And we know what goes with the obedient movements.
What goes with it?
Natural attitude. Mob attitude. That need to be put under control at every point in time. And these groups are across every state in Nigeria. Obi, this is not a election period. You were coming to that same Benue State, according to the same Obi, when you got to Nasarawa State, you were calling the governor on phone. You were having an official engagement with IDP of the state, but you are not having official engagement with the state government. It doesn't add up. And when the chief detail of the governor replied you, that the governor says, since you did not give them prior notice of your coming, they will not allow you to the IDP. Nobody looked at that point. Prior notice. Everybody went on air, castigating the governor of Benue State. He's denying Obi. Obi is a citizen of Nigeria. He can enter any state. Being a citizen of Nigeria does not mean you can breach any security protocol across any state as a national political figure. Because if anything also happened to you, being a citizen of Nigeria, we will also blame the governor of whichever state that thing, unfortunate incident occurred.
So we're saying whatever remark that Edo State governor,
it's not a remark, and he only advised him.
You're saying, hold on a second, you're saying it had nothing to do with politics.
Of course, he simply said, when you are coming next time, let me know.
Even though he said it in the course of campaign.
Okay, what is Obi coming to do in Edo State when it's not political? Everything I'm mentioning now does not have political undertone.
So Obi has to be more calculative. There are special times during which he should come to his state.
Go through the due process, even if it has political undertone. Even if you want to hold meeting with your political groups. You are not an ordinary person. That's what we are telling Obi. We are reminding Obi of his status in the Nigeria polity. Since 2023, Obi taught himself to be the former two times governor alone. He has grown beyond that now. Obi should see himself more than that since 2023. So he should learn to play by the rules. Because he was a governor that also, under similar circumstances, detained Malam Nasiru El-Rufai, the former governor of Kaduna State, in 2013. For 10 hours, arrested him, put him on house arrest in the hotel. That whatever he came to Anambra State to do on an arrangement with APC, he will not do it because he's not aware of his coming. It's a protocol demand that the person of El-Rufai caliber should notify the state government of his coming to the state and letting him know what is in the state to do. And from there, they bundle him back to Kaduna State. They sent me back from the hotel. But the Nigerian media kept mute because it was not an issue. After all, it's about APC.
So you are placing a part of this blame on the Nigerian media?
I'm saying that we blow this out of proportion to satisfy our selfish sentiments. The same man that did the same thing about 11 years ago, and we clap for him, or we refuse to condemn it because we felt he was right within the prison of security protocol, procedure, and courtesy. You understand? The same man is breaking the same security protocol, courtesy, and procedures of another state now. And the state government did not detain him. They only reminded him that when he left, there was chaos.
But let's understand
that to forestall similar security breach,
right,
do it the right way. So what is the issue there that is threat?
So we are saying that if Obi were to come to Edo State, I mean, against all of these warning, or like you call it, a piece of advice from the state governor, he would not be allowed to move out of the airport. I mean, once he lands in the airport, for example.
That is not what I insinuated. I only spoke about him not allowing El-Rufai out of his hotel room.
Some 11, 12 years ago.
Exactly, when he was governor
of Anambra State.
But he came to Edo State freely now. And we are reminding him that next time he should go through the due process.
But does it not look like...
The governor also said they wanted to make the law, or the procedures, or the courtesy, or the security protocol. There's another to break it. The right for you to break any law is your right. It's your freedom. But the consequences, nobody should also blame the governor.
But okay, so I just want to help put this on the right path, so we're having the conversation within context, right? You have mentioned, for example, the case of El-Rufai in 2013 when Obi was still governor of Anambra State. You also have talked about that of Benue State, for example.
Even in Edo State.
And the case, yes, in Edo State, Oshomole and the former governor Obaseki. Does it not look at this point that, I mean, like we have established a very disturbing tradition?
It's not disturbing. They are telling you what is established. Is it not there that you should go through the protocols, the procedures? I'm not a national figure of any quote and a quote like Obi or El-Rufai or Oshomole or whatever. When you get to that level, you know who you are in the national polity. So play by those rules and procedures. It's not wrong.
If Obi were not a member, I mean, if Obi were not as prominent as he is today, maybe it was just somebody who left office some years ago in Anambra and was minding his business, was no longer interested in partisan politics, would we be having this sort of conversation?
Something like that has not happened. Because every former governor or a prominent person, no matter how quiet, even Ibori, former governor of Delta State, also visited those states and he paid courtesy visits. Even when he was not a member of APC.
But we're seeing Ibori flying to Edo State without even visiting the governor, and he just goes.
When I'm talking of security arrangements.
Okay.
The governor did not say you should come and visit him.
But you need to.
When he's aware that you are coming, not signing. When he's aware of your coming, the security protocols will be provided to go and pick you up or take you around, go wherever you are going to. Don't you need to come and see the governor? Well, it's just the procedure. Let's not grandstand on it. What is not is not. What is it is it.
But is there facts in the allegation? Because it is.
If the chief security officer the chaos,
yes,
and the possible deaths, that is less for the security because he got the security report.
That we may not be privy to.
Exactly. First of all, that school is supposed to be a school in the heart of Benin City.
Right.
St. Philomena is very prominent along Mission Road in Benin. And that school, Edo State, whether it's a private school or government school, run within the same curriculum. Because Edo State Ministry of Education make sure we have uniform curriculum of education in Edo State.
Public and private.
Public and private. With same rules and regulation. So as Obi is an educated mind, even visiting such school on the working days, when the students of the nursery are supposed to be in class, that's why you decide to come, or whether it's a launching or whatever, who does that? That's another responsibility for the Commissioner of Education to deal with the nursery school. They need to explain what was the arrangement for. Even the Commissioner of Police was supposed to be. Obi is not a small feat politically. If Commissioner of Police feign ignorance of the presence of Obi in Edo State, God forbid any chaos happen that leads to security crisis, how will you feel?
All right, how I feel is probably something we need to talk about later. But for now, let's talk about how those who have been following this story, this development, feel. Right? There's the allegation now, as weighty as it is, that some 2-3 persons had died when Obi visited before now, for example. Is there any fact in that, or was it not just propaganda being advanced by the governor?
Don't say that the governor advanced propaganda.
No, I'm putting it in front of you as
the reports
that he has.
In land that there was crisis, and that crisis led to the death of 2 to 3 persons.
That doesn't sound authoritative coming from the governor.
Is it from the report
that he has?
Because he's the chief security officer. From the report. Do you understand?
Well, you said from the
that same report is subjective. We're in Nigeria. Don't be surprised. Even the people that experience the security misfortune were denied. Why would they get the security report?
Why would they deny if it's actually
settlement in Nigeria? In this country, we see somebody coming out to say that I am the one that was jailed, not this person.
That also could be suggestive of the fact that the governor may have been misled in that regard.
No, the security report that is with him, that is what he acted on.
Right. So what if it happens tomorrow?
But he proving beyond reasonable doubt. Every other talk in the media is speculative.
Let's talk about the governor's handlers, especially those who are supposed to be on his media team now. I mean, I don't know how I'm going to make this happen. Maybe make you not very, if you like, biased in this regard. But do you think his media team has done a sterling work, an amazing work or job with these
using what has happened as a yardstick to evaluate the performance of his media?
It's not fair enough.
It's absolutely. This is not. This is just an issue that has been blown out of proportion. You know, because normally, as a media team, nobody expected it was going to go like this. This is not an issue to me. But since it has taken a dangerous trend and direction, the media team has woken up, train your perspective, analyzing everything that happened. Remember, this video is just a 43 seconds clip of a full video.
Has that always been the tradition?
In the social media, not the tradition of the mainstream media, because the mainstream media, the television houses that cover the event where the statement was made, they have the full video.
But that doesn't take away from the fact that that was the governor's statement exactly.
Somebody talking about of the media handling. When the media was reporting, they were reporting a complete event. There was a rally in Edo Central.
Right.
The media was not reporting. So Obama did not sit down to say, call me media team or call me television station or media outlet. I want to address Obi coming to Edo State.
So was something he said in person?
You understand? It was at a political rally. There's lift of ban on electioneering in Edo Central because of by-election that is coming up. And remember, he was a senator. That is his own senatorial district.
Right.
And they are going to fill the space. Whoever wins the election is going to fill the space. So telling voters that, because you have Labour Party candidate in the same election, you have ADC candidate, you have APC candidate, you have PDP candidate. And as a governor, he's winning voters to vote for his party. Tell them, don't vote for these people and launch their Ogake the other day. They did not come to me, did not inform you. You should not do that again. Whenever he wants to come, you need to protocol demands that they inform me as the chief security. That was all he said at that rally. Not that he sat down to say, I'm threatening Obi. And then we blew it out of proportion. So if the media team of the governor want to report, they will report the full event of his political trade that went to Edo Central. Not necessarily about Obi. Because the Obi issue was infinitesimal and inconsequential to the essence of the governor being Esa Central.
But the one that we said Obi is not.
I said the issue of the statement
of mean feet.
No, it's not about Obi as a person. The issue of the statement. He did not go to Edo Central to go and castigate Obi. He was doing electionary. I just told you everything now. What the full clip?
All right, well, we're going to talk about the full clip, hopefully, before we tail out of this conversation. But let's talk about, it's one thing for you to have an intention in your heart, but how you now express it is a different kettle of fish. But when we look at what has happened now, what the governor said, the way he said it, the circumstances under which he made that statement or gave that piece of advice, for example, is it not a very timely reminder that chief executives should be more circumspect and be more intentional with their words and wording?
First of all, if what he was saying was an attack on Obi or a direct attack, it's a different ballgame. That is where your position will be brought into it. I still explain to you that he did not attack Obi, he did not threaten Obi. In the process of his campaign, he made the statement of, you were in Edo, you did not inform me, which you are supposed to do. Next time, don't, whenever you want to come, you need to inform to provide security for you. I'm the chief security officer of the state. So was that an attack? That will now you have to be you have to watch. The issue we should be dealing with, we are dealing with wrong perception in Nigeria, especially wrong media perception and narrative. People see that to concoct narrative around the statement of people and blow it out of proportion.
But we can't pay this on the media now.
No. Also, because the media now in Nigeria or in the 21st century world is not limited to the mainstream media.
Okay, so
the mainstream media now rely, unfortunately, no investigative journalism. They now rely on the clickbait and opinions of people that are visual people that you are not seeing.
But social media. But we have affiliate colleagues. I mean, conventional trusted media outfits who are on the ground.
Most of the people we've seen a lot. Look at leadership. I'm mentioning them now. Most of the leadership newspaper, Arise TV, they carried the news yesterday that IBB Son rejected rejected their
which has come out to debunk.
So, and they got all this information. If you see all their quotes, plus Rufai in Arise TV, Dele Momodu of all people was using a social media platform to carry those fake news.
I guess it's a good thing you're saying that on Global TV, because we saw that story, for example, just to also address that. But we thought there was need to do due diligence in that regard. Whether or not as to use that story.
Out of proportion, you get to the Edo State government. Call the Fred Itwa is always available.
Right, the chief secretary. Right.
Did your master or the chief executive say this is what is? Nobody, the media houses, the mainstream media, they rely on the cacophony of the natural noise from social media from the same obedient group. Let to promote, whether we like it or not, they want to promote upscale the populism of their leader, their movement leader. Unfortunately, populism does not win election.
Okay, let's
voters win election.
Well, it did for Donald Trump in 2016.
It was popular because the population, the population had votes. They had vote what? They had vote value.
They had a base.
They had a base. These people are baseless. That is why voters win election. Not how many people. All the social media polls done before a do election, Obelo did not get third. At the time, the Labour candidate, the former NBA president, was leading in one of the polls. Then another one, Asha Godalo,
was second.
But I was telling you that politics is local. If voters look at what you are doing, not what you say that is blown out of proportion, what you are doing for them, Obelo is giving good routes. Building schools. Just yesterday, all the way to Ososo, the school here. I will send you the video clip. You have to send a team to go and review it with the support from the Olososo of Ososo, King Dele Obadele Obaito. Ososo far away. That is what the people need. Good providing education infrastructure across Edo State. Is building roads. You complain on this program the other time. The Akoko Edo Ipeshi.
I didn't complain. I just put the fact.
And it's complaint because it was not being done. That's a federal road. But today it's being fixed by him. What was the one that led to the former speaker at Ajoto's village that was abandoned? A lot is going on. He's doing the work, recruiting Ebo Ijinjis into the civil service, converting the ones that were. So a lot he is doing that the people of Edo are feeling. It's more than the noise, the misconception that is being traded online. against him. So when the chips are down, the voters are those people. The more than 300 clerical officers that were never staffed in government house, the cleaners, the gate men, the grass cutters, that he converted, or gardener rather, that he converted. Instead of 25,000, they are now earning 77,000 minimum wage and more. They are not on social media.
All right, let's
they don't start a job that they were on contract earning 39,000 for 4 years, that he has converted to full civil servant. Those teachers, more than 5,000. They are also on social media, but they have their voters card. They know how the governor is about imparting the people. How Azokpewolo imparted those people in the last 7 months. That is what we should be discussing.
All right,
not taking a clip of what he said and what he did not say, amplified it with fake narrative. Because you pay the statement, build narrative upon it, and blow it out of proportion. All because they cannot penetrate Edo State politically. Because right now, Edo State is fully APC.
All right, well, I mean, that's much is very factual. I mean, it's scientific to know that Edo State is an APC state as it stands right now. You talked about social media and how that so much of misinformation and fake news, all right, goes on there, which is, of course, very disturbing, not just in Nigeria, but across the world, all right? People have muted the idea of, let's say, the possibility of regulating social media, which, again, is not realistic. As of today, it's not the case that no politician, including yourself, can has the moral basis to criticize, for the most part, the misinformation that we see on social media. Why? I mean, I practiced as a broadcast journalist in Edo State for quite a while. I saw, for example, how the PDP and the APC, and maybe one or two other parties of the train, but chiefly the PDP and the APC, all right, dispersing people across the internet, all right, pushing different narratives, whether it was those from the Obaseki side or those from the, if you like, Oshomole Izayamu side, and all of that. So it was a game of fastest fingers. It was a game of who has more, if you like, keyboard warriors, as they call them. All right, all of that happened. But to appear, politicians cry foul when the social media, the intensity of social media tussle, all right, is, if you like, against them. The odds are stacked against them. I'm saying that to say that, as of today, we all know that politicians across board, regardless of partisan leaning or the political party in question, in the practice, in the culture of dispersing people across the internet, whether it's Facebook, X, or whatever it is, just to help advance certain kinds of narrative. How can politicians also play their role with conscience and maybe some kind of ethical leaning to ensure that we're able to also bring a bit of decency to our social media broadcasts?
There is a difference between governance and politics.
What's the difference in this case? Social media, fake news, and misinformation.
Governance is about using the apparatus and machinery of bureaucracy to drive democracy. Democracy is about political. Bureaucracy is about the machinery of governments that is not political, to implement governance so that you can deliver good governance. And in delivering good governance, it's also about making rules and implementing those rules. A society that is not regulated is an aberration. It's a contradiction in terms. Talk less of a way of life, a culture. Social media is now a culture. If social media can be regulated in the climate where it was designed, formulated, created, innovated, we the users, we are just consumers of social media.
Is there anywhere in the world where social media is regulated? Where is that?
Even in America.
Who regulates it?
You know, we always tell ourselves to, after the program, you can find out, even in China.
Well, is that any regulation when people still find a way to circumvent those firewalls?
It does not mean ban. Regulation is setting boundaries for you. Because in human nature, there's nothing like human nature. We tend to dwell on absolutism. Even from the holy books of Bible and Quran, God attempted to regulate man. He said, in this Garden of Eden, consume everything, but don't do this, don't consume this for now. Now that one where they say may not consume, like all day, because he needed liberty to eat everything in the garden. Then he found his way to Satan to eat everything, and the consequences is where we are today. Everything has consequence. Nothing is absolute. The content you promote, nobody is against social media, including me. It has become a platform that has benefited a lot. Also a platform that, if not regulated, will continue to create chaos and crisis for the world. Everything that has advantage has disadvantage. You were mentioning PDP, APC, key bad words, and you did not talk of the content. It's not a matter of how many millions of reach you've had on social media to promote a lie. You should be concerned of the contents. The truth might be sluggishly moving. Your lie may be. Look at how this narrative against the governor is flying how many days? Or has flied how many days? But the truth is beginning to come out. This is the context of the statement. This is what it is. And everything's dancing down.
All right, we need to take a quick break. We need to wrap this up the next few minutes. But when we return, we'll look at another man who is very pivotal to the politics of Edo State, especially as it has to do with the ruling All Progressives Congress, APC, in the state. The statements he made just this week, for example, what the implications are and how they may rub off on this already very disturbing situation. All of that coming shortly. Please do stay with us. All right, time to bring this to a close real quick, but we'll spend the next 8 minutes looking at another angle to this conversation. So, well, they call him Emperor Jarrett Tenebe, the APC chairman in Edo State. There's a video of him, which I suppose was a part of a press conference, where he used the term hate. He says that, like him, there are other people in Edo State who hate Peter Obi, and as such, they can't afford to see him come into the state. Now, he did stop there. He goes ahead to say that the only opposition party in the state is PDP, that for those who want to associate with or through their weight behind the coalition, they will have to leave the state for the APC. Is that not an overreach for a state chairman in a state where the least you expect is decent politics?
Yeah, that's a political statement. I don't want us to drag
we shouldn't take it seriously.
And to drag it into this. And remember, as just like you said, he said him. He was speaking for himself, and also said some other people. He did not say APC hate Obi.
For the person of the chairman of the APC in the state?
He said he. There are two different things here. His personality and the office he occupies. The office he occupies, that the Constitution of Nigeria cannot afford to hate any other political opponents. Do you understand?
I'm trying to, because that video and what he said there still plays in my head.
No, because the office he occupies is APC national chairman, and his personality is Emperor Jarrett Tenebe. If he dislikes Obi, that is his personal. I have my personal qualification of Obi, but when I'm talking politically, I place Obi in the political sphere. Even Obi has his own personal opinion on issues, but when he's talking politically, he places things on the political sphere. You understand? So let not also blow that out of proportion. It was not, first of all, that is why he specified and personalized his statements. He was not saying he's speaking on behalf of the state government or the governor or even the state party. He was talking for himself. And he said he and some other people. Then let's come back to ask a question. The Obi we are talking about today, which party does it belong? As at this morning as we are sitting down here. To the best of my knowledge and your knowledge, right now.
You can speak for yourself. Okay. You don't know about my.
All right. No, it's a knowledge that we all. It's not my opinion. Obi does not have a political party right now because it's suspended from Labour Party, and he has not officially decamped to ADC. To the best of my knowledge. You get my point.
So what's your concern?
That is the more reason why I feel the obedient movement should be more defined. Because he has the only organization or association that Obi has openly admitted providing leadership for is obedient movement. Are they registered NGO? They are not affiliates because he said obedient movement is not part of Labour Party. They are not affiliates. You can talk of BMO. You can talk of Tinubu Media Center. They are all affiliates of either APC or the presidency. But if you are saying they are not affiliated to any, they are just a movement. For you, for your sake, they also carry your name in the appellation, obedience. There's no organization, no direction, no vision to where are these people really going. And they are not organized to say this is who they are, this is what they do and all. And for obedience to even be endorsed by a terrorist organization, IPOB, that's a dangerous signal to national security. We know what the havoc that IPOB has committed in the Southeast region. We only cherry pick. We don't want to talk about the real issues. Obi is going around your different states seeking to assist. When you leave your state and your region and needing assistance, election is coming up in Anambra State in November. Obi is supposed to be in Anambra State now daily with his obedient team, canvassing for whoever Labour Party candidate or if he does not have whichever party. It should be concerned more. Why are you leaving your region? Going to Maiduguri, going to go to Benue, where there are a lot of IDPs, cannibalism is going on, kidnapping and killings. Hassling is going on in your region. They are eating human beings. People, you see them every day on television rescuing thousands of people. That is a region that has been on lockdown for 10 years. Every Monday, the governors of the 5 states in Southeast region is on standstill. Every Monday is under the control. They obey. If the government and the people of every state in Southeast obey the directive of the proscribed organization called IPOB, and the leader or the founder or the convener or the masterminder of that organization has been in detention, while the man that took over from him is also in detention in Finland on terrorism charges. But you are here in Nigeria, the same organization is endorsing your movements, collaborating with you, and you openly say you are providing leadership for the obedient movement, and nobody is even questioning that. Don't you think that is a national security risk? And you now feel a state government should not be concerned about such person coming to a state? The activities of that movement is enough for anybody. We know what they have caused in this country. They've dragged every other person, they've rubbished names, they've done all sorts of things, including Professor Wole Soyinka. They can descend on anybody without reasons, just because you don't flow with Obi's opinion or Obi's political roadmap. They will tell you they hate you. But somebody is saying he hates obedience. Now it's an issue.
Let's go back to those states.
There's a proverb in Edo States. This poisonous rat, he will always leave his children in the hole and go to the roost of a hen to kill the chicks of the hen and bring to the hole to feed his children. On one fateful day, he left his hole to go and kill more small chicks from the hen to come and bring for the children. Before he came back, snake entered his hole and ate up his own small rat children. So he came back, he was blaming the snake and crying that they have killed his children. Then the tortoise reminded him that the children of the hen that you go to kill to bring for your children, na person born them.
All right, so let's begin to put this to bed. So as it stands today, there are people who believe strongly that the government in Edo State, under the leadership of Monday Okpebholo, is intolerant of opposition, even though the APC had also played the opposition for a while. How do we respond?
All right, first of all, we are tolerant of opposition. Even the state chairman just said, that
the only opposition party
is opposition. No, that is just it's not in principle. By law,
but you can't know that the man called a press conference and he addressed journalists.
Excuse me.
He addressed journalists.
I'm driving at the point. We were in the opposition in those states. And that Oshomole was stoned, a national chairman of APC, for coming to Edo State without clearance from the governor. He was stoned at the airport. Immediately started disagreeing with the governor. This is the same governor he helped to bring to power. When they were in good terms, whenever he was coming to Edo State, there was always people to welcome him to Edo State. But when they fell out, he was being stoned. His house was barricaded for nobody. He was put on house arrest, and the road to his house in GRA was barricaded. The whole media in Edo State clapped for it. Before the election,
because they used it as part of their news broadcast.
They cried. Is it the same thing we are talking about now? Did we not cry? Who heard us? 14 members of our party were elected by their respective constituents. They were refused to be sworn into House of Assembly to provide representation for their respective constituents for 4 years. Up to Supreme Court judgment, the government never implemented anyone. That was harsh on opposition. But it was okay. The media silence was okay. Excuse me, I'm not done. Maybe the last one.
Yes.
Before the election, the governor came out, a city governor, threatened the whole Nigeria. That if anything, if he did not win the election, they would burn Nigeria down.
Well, again, as you would say, it was just a political rhetoric.
I will take my own. Everything that was said, that has been said by my party, is not the rhetoric.
No, I'm just following your footsteps, because
that's what I'm saying. Yeah. Take it like that. Since we saw it as political rhetoric, take all the ones that is being said
as being political rhetoric. Okay, I'd like to say a big thank you to you.
Thank you very much.
High Chief Haruna Ibrahimo, member of the APC and a staunch supporter of Governor Monday Okpebholo, for coming to share this insight with us. But it's an ongoing conversation. Hopefully, in the days ahead, we'll be able to also speak directly with the state chairman of the APC in Edo, Jared Tenebe. Well, that's what we're leaving it on the program this morning. Jumai Manson, myself, and the entire team here at Global Television, I say a big thank you to you for watching. Our broadcast continues here.